Welcome to Over 50, So What? I'm Carol. Now, it's so great to hear from our viewers. David dropped us a note to say that he was doing the 5-minute fitness segment with his 85-year-old mother. Legend! So I hope you're all going to be joining in the 5-minute fitness segment after the break. Now, you may know someone who's having some challenges with their mental health. Today we chat to David Pearce from On the Lowdown about some strategies to help others and also tips on how to look after our own mental health. Lastly, we meet some enthusiastic paper crafters and find out there's lots of men using their creative talents as well. Today on the show we meet David Pearce, who after facing his own mental health challenges launched On the Lowdown. He works with community and government organisations to provide products and services to help us all with our mental health. Hi David, welcome to Over 50 So What? Great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Carol.
Now David, to sum up with, can you just review the main things that we should be doing to look after our mental health?
For sure. Okay, thanks, Carol. So I'd say start for me, number one is sleep. I think sleep is totally the way to go. I feel $1,000,000 when I've had a really good sleep, but very, very close to sleep is your nutrition. What are you eating? What are you putting in your body? How much booze or whatever substances you're putting in your body too, and then exercise as well. So those top three are fundamental. Focus on them, do a stock take. And there's probably another 4 that I'm a really big fan of. One is cultivating an observational mindset. So that is not being defined by your emotions. It's being able to step back, look at what you're feeling, appreciate that. Getting out in nature is really important. Just the color green, scientists have shown empirically, we've got solid evidence showing that it makes you feel better. That's why there's a green room before people go on TV shows. Being sociable. So whatever you can do to be sociable, whatever you can do, like connect with people. We are social beings. We are social animals is what Steve Brack says in one of our interviews. And finally, it's how you relate to yourself. How are you talking to yourself? Do you treat yourself like as you would a good friend, or are you a bit of an asshole to yourself? Because that's really important. And so, Carol, we've got these 7 what we call mental health no-brainers. That's a downloadable PDF from our website.
Now, here's another question for you. So if someone like a woman or a man notices someone, they think, oh, this guy needs some help, but he's in a bad space, what do you suggest that the other person do to help that person?
I think the Are You OK website is a really great resource. They focus their entire organization around that situation. They have their special Are You OK Day. So I'd refer to their acronym, I think is a really good example, which is ALEC, ALEC. So A starts with asking the question, are you okay? How are you going? What's happening? And then listening is the L. Now, I reckon, they're all really important, but the L is one of the bits that a lot of us stuff up. But a lot of the time when people are really, really struggling, when people are suffering, they don't want you to fix their problem. They don't need you to fix their problem. And trying to fix their problem is not actually fixing the problem. A lot of the time, all they need to do, and this happened to me like a week ago, I just needed to call my buddy and say, hey, I'm really struggling today. These are the things that are, happening in my life. And all he did was just listen and validate me. I love the L. And then E being to encourage action. So E is like go and seek action, make a change. Call your GP. Call your mate. And then C is check in. And so you need to check in, because a lot of these people, they won't they won't go and actually do it. So we've both worked in Men's Sheds. Men's Sheds motto is shoulder to shoulder. it speaks volumes about, sometimes go for a walk with somebody and you can both stare straight ahead, or do some gardening with somebody, or go and do some sort of activity, go play some golf.
So this brings us to, can you tell us what Lowdown does on the Lowdown? What sort of things do you do for the community?
We used to run all of these in person, these live events, and we did that focusing in regional Victoria. And so we did on the Lowdown, did like an events tour around Victoria. COVID brought that to a screeching halt at the start of last year. We lost all of our funding. It's just more important than ever for people to connect with one another. So we started running these online events. Given that we were doing it in the online space, we needed some online content. So we started, I called up somebody who I very love and admire, and in Steve Bracks. He was Premier for 3.5 terms, something like that, and left in the peak of his power. Why would he do that when so many of us cling on to power? Had a lot of really interesting questions for Steve about, and then I called up Greg Combay, who, federal MP, he and now head of Australian Industry Super. He's one of the most powerful men in the whole country. And he said, yeah, I'll talk about mental health and my experiences with mental health. And then Tom Carroll, 2 times world champion surfer, said, yeah, for sure. Basically, everybody just said yes. And so we started this podcast and YouTube channel called Here for Each Other, spelled HEAR, Here for Each Other, because we're listening. Another one of you, there you go, exactly. So we just launched that at the start of, halfway through last week. We've just started punching out those full publications now. So today we've just launched the Greg Combay interview. Yesterday we did Steve Monaghetti from Ballarat, and yeah.
So if a community group's watching this and they want to set something up for their community, you can organise like an online workshop or something for them, can you?
Exactly. Yeah. So, whatever health message this community organisation has. So we work with, local councils sometimes. We're working with Warrnambool last year. Right now we're working with Ballarat Community Health. I really love working with community health centres, because they're the ones who've actually got all the resources at hand, and they're the ones, they're getting a lot of investment now from the government into their hands in mental health services, and so it's really critical to get their services out there and connect them with their communities, and so that's essentially my job, really strengthen those connections, and so that's how we do it.
Well, congratulations on all the good work that you're doing and having a great impact, especially on those regional areas where we need it the most. We'll put up all your information and the links and everything for people to check out what you're doing and contact you. And naturally, if someone has, this has raised any issues for people that need some more help, they should call Lifeline.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks so much for coming on, and we hope to see you again. Thanks for watching our TV show. Be sure to hit subscribe and then you'll never miss an episode. Jump on Facebook, join our group, get in on the fun, fitness, wellness and inspiration. I'm Carol, over 50. So what?